Hello friends, welcome to another vlog. It's Tuesday and I am sitting down to try to figure out what I'm going to do this week. Compassionate deadlines, people. Compassionate deadlines. Part of me thinks I should be working on this ball gown bodice, but there's some parts to it that I don't really know how I'm going to handle, and I will explain all that to you guys in just a few minutes. But I'm trying to figure out what I want to do, so I'm kind of thinking I'm going to let that slide for a little while and not quite work on that. Also, I seem to be the only person in America who's like losing weight during this, so now I'm kind of concerned, like, what if I get smaller, or what if I get a job and then I eat a bunch of stuff and then I get bigger? I'm like, do I really want to make this ball gown bodice a year ahead of time? But then again, I made like Iron Man 8 or 9 years ago and it still fits just fine, so it's probably fine. Probably shouldn't worry about it, although the blue dress is actually slightly too big for me. Who knows? Who knows? So I think the first thing I'm going to do is get the cubbies in underneath my table. I really want those in there. They come, if this explains anything to you, there's these bins that you can get, and so there's 6 holes for these basically. Although I don't actually have enough of these bins to fill every hole, and that's good because I have a couple things that are too big to fit in a bin, but it's fine if they stick out a little bit and I can stick them in the hole kind of situation. So I think I'm going to utilize that technology, or lack thereof, to store a few things. I moved the 2 bins that were under my table. I had 2 giant plastic bins full of basically wool. We moved them downstairs, so they're in the garage, which I'm sad about because I really want all my fabric up here, but I feel like that's also kind of unreasonable at this point. I need to use up some fabric before I can insist upon silly things like that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get those cubbies in first. I think that's gonna be my first goal for this week. The second thing I might start doing is either the Black Snail Patterns vest, or I want to do the 80 cape cult thing, which I'm just like, why I live in California, but but I'll just make the cape anyway because I think it's super cute. I just need to see if I have the right fabric for it, or if I have fabric I want to use, so I may or may not make that. The vest I'm pretty sure I will. I did go downstairs in my garage and clean out a couple of costume bins, like full of costume stuff that I'm probably never going to wear again. And one thing I did discover, which is ridiculous given the amount of thread I have at this point, was that I had this Mad Hatter sort of costume situation that I had going for a while, and I wore it a few times. If I can find a picture, I'll put it up here. Anyway, it has this like sash. I keep wanting to call it a bolero, but that's not what a bolero is. A bolero is a tiny jacket. Anyway, the sash looks like this. Who makes their cosplay props out of Gutermann thread? But look what I found! A ton of Gutermann thread. So I'm gonna cut this thing apart and put all this thread into my thread stash, and so I'm really pumped about finding that. I got a red threaded pattern for the 1870s front lacing stays, which I'm super into and ready to make at this point. So I don't know if I want the stomacher or not. Like, I guess you make it, and if you want to use it, cool, and if you don't, that's fine. I don't know how much thicker it makes you, but there's Taylor on the front, and I love this pattern. This picture of her is so great too. Anyway, I'm thinking I'm gonna make these at some point soon because I would like just any one outfit that I do not have to have someone else get me into. And if I can manage to get into my own stays, I can probably get my own dress on. So I'm feeling good about that. Anyway, gonna go work on this cubby situation. Okay, so I have one cubby under here, as you can see, and like I said, there's one that doesn't have a bin and basket, and I think that's fine because it's where I want to stick stuff that goes through. So I will stick another one of these cubbies in here. I'm just waiting for my husband to get off of a work call so I can go bang all the stuff. But man, I made up so much room already. Like, I got rid of all of these were filled with ribbon, and then there's a basket here that was filled with ribbon, so I reclaimed some space there. Like, I feel really good about it. I gotta play with this pleater thing and see what's what there, and I gotta move these out now. But this one has some wool in it, that one has some wool in it, this one has like my wig head in it and some piping cord, and this one has tarlatan in it for now. I don't know if this is gonna be like the permanent way these are, but I think I'm just gonna use them for like, this is where stuff that I don't know where it goes, and I'll just have to like look through them, but I could also label them. I have a label maker. The problem with the label maker is that it's not sticky enough to actually like stick on there for very long because it's fabric, so maybe I'll figure out some other way to label them. Maybe I'll do a loop and like loop it through here so that there's a tag on it that tells me what's in it. All right, they're all in. This is the empty hole that is on this side. So I feel pretty good about them. I have like 1 or 2 empty ones left, so I feel good about that. I'm thinking this is a great idea. Hello! I come to you sopping wet from the shower, and a couple days later. I vegged for a couple days. I've been getting the weirdest sleep. Like last night I was up until 8 o'clock in the morning, and then I got up for the day at like 12:30. So yeah, I'm going more and more nocturnal every day. It's bad. I need to like, I almost stayed up so I could just wrap back around and like go to bed early, but I didn't quite make it. I did get a nice surprise in the mail. I was here cleaning up this work table so that I could put this vest pattern together, which I printed out, and it is 47 pages. 47 pages. It's like half a tree. Lynn sent me all of the bonnet patterns separately. I'm like, wow, that's amazing, Lynn. I'll show you guys what she sent me because they're actually pretty cool, and I'll explain the differences between the two in case you were interested in that bonnet or any other bonnet in that pattern. Okay, so here is the Regency soft crown bonnet pattern that she has. It has jockey style caps, and French bonnets in it. And it comes with all of these different hats. So that's one, and these are ones that are in here. This pattern is sort of complicated to read, largely because you can mix and match a bunch of these brims and tops and crowns and stuff in order to make the kind of hat that you want. But it means you have to like jerry-rig some pattern pieces around just a little bit per hat to make the brims actually work for each one, so that she didn't have to make 8 brim patterns for us. And also you have to skip around based on what hat you chose. Like you may need to read this direction but not this direction, or this direction, and then you come back and you need to read this direction, sort of thing. So you have to be able to follow that. So this pattern is really awesome if you want to make a bunch of these hats. However, it is kind of a complicated pattern, and it is really more for like an advanced hat maker or someone who really knows what they're doing and can figure out hat patterns pretty easily. So I told her that, and then what happened was she split these into individual patterns, which have really great photos of the hat all over them, which I fully appreciate. And then they're much simplified instructions just for that hat. I think these patterns are also significantly cheaper than this pattern. This pattern, because it has so many hats in it, it's more expensive than these are individually. So if you only want to make 1 or 2 of these, it might be better to get the individual patterns, because though it might be a little bit easier to follow. I don't know if she has all of these up on her website just yet, but she will have them very soon, if not right now. I will link her website down below, straight to the hat patterns for you. This guy is so cute. I love this hat. This hat's really great too. That one has like pictures of the insides too, which I really enjoy, and how it's like put together in the back. Oh, and this hat. Ooh, that one's beautiful. You can do a 2-toned hat. And then this guy. So basically these patterns are just individually patterned. So the patterns are actually different because you don't have to tape pieces together to form the right shape brim out of them. And that's not the case with every hat in this. Some of them are individually there, but there are some that you have to tape together, and you have to like figure out how to tape them together and stuff. So if you're a really good hat maker / are into patterns and can understand that stuff super easily and can jump around in instructions and understand, you know, that you don't need a bunch of them, this is a great pattern. If you're newer to hat making or want the pattern to be very straightforward from the get-go and the instructions to be very straightforward, these are the hat patterns that you want to get, these individual ones, unless you want a ton of them and then you go back over to here. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. I thank you, Lynn, for sending me all these patterns. I'm actually pumped to have them all. I'm not gonna lie. I want the individual ones. I would have ordered them individually had they been available at the time, just so that they're sort of easier to follow. And then they're also self-contained, so I don't have to like worry about maybe messing up a piece that might get used in a different one or something over here. I actually prefer more straightforward. So anyway, thank you, Lynn. I really, really appreciate that. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this pattern together now. I've never put together a print from home pattern before, so I'm gonna set you guys up so you can watch me suffer while I figure this thing out. Hopefully it's not that complicated, although people in my Instagram seem to think that it's like hellacious, so okay, some people were like it's fine and some people were like good luck. Also going to be on my Friday night Disney watch party, so it'll probably mean I'll be checking my phone a lot because that's part of the point, is that we chat with each other. So please do not give me a rash of harassment for being on my phone constantly. It's like scheduled to be that way. I'm just sort of doing this while that's happening. Okay, watching Tangled. So this wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. As you could see, it wasn't very difficult. I have good lighting in here, so I could line up all the lines pretty easily, and the pattern makes sense. There are things about it that I don't understand, like what is that? Is this like some sort of alien language I don't understand? Is this Braille? If so, I ordered the wrong pattern because I do not understand Braille. Also, it's not bumpy. Maybe I have to have a Braille printer. But there's other stuff in here that's in English, so I don't understand. But there's dots everywhere that I don't get. Like, what are all these? And like that. And then also they don't list the size. They have a chart in whatever this is that I think is the lines that they use here to describe what the sizes are. I mean, it's pretty easy, I think, to figure it out because it's like, this is their size 46 to 56. So I think this is 46, this is 48, this is 50, this is 52, this is 54, and this is 56. Cool, but you can mark that. And I did check the PDF in here, and it is in fact in the PDF. Like all these dots and stuff are in the PDF. Like I really don't understand them. I'm so confused by it. I can probably still make this like without a problem. I don't think the dots are quite that important, but I'm very confused. Don't really understand. Maybe this is some printing a pattern thing that I just don't get. Anyway, I'm gonna figure out, I think I'm a 50 in this because I have a 40 waist. You would think they would just use the number that correlates with your waist size, but no. So I'm gonna draw the line out better so that I know where to cut and then cut it. But then also these pages like sort of bleed off more on the bottom sheet than they do the top sheet, which I don't understand. So there's like this strip here basically of white, and on the other side of it there really isn't. They like bleed off a lot better. I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna draw the lines that I actually need, and then I'm gonna cut this one out, and then I'm gonna make the other, because there's a second page of this. Okay, so we have the whole pattern cut out. There are these dots everywhere, and that's kind of concerning. Like, what is this? I think I figured out what the problem is, and that it's a font pack hasn't been installed properly into or embedded into the files, so it's making it not render. So now I'm waiting for her to respond to me and hopefully send me the right one. We shall see. I don't know if I need all this information. Maybe I don't. Maybe it's fine. Like, I'm gonna try to do it without it, but we will see if it goes well okay or not. I'm gonna do that tomorrow though. I guess I really didn't explain what the heck's going on. I printed out this pattern because I am I guess I never really explained why I'm cutting this pattern out. I think I'm gonna work on both of those vests. I want to make this view of this pattern. It does require me to wear a corset when I'm doing it though, which was kind of not really my intent. I was sort of hoping to make it a little bit more of a history bounding thing, but I'm gonna make one that goes over my corset for now and then maybe enlarge it a little bit because I'm not that different without my corset. But the pattern itself actually, if you read the instructions, says that it sizes itself down by 1.5 inches, just assuming that you're going to wear a corset. So if you look at your normal sizing and you go, okay, I have a 40-inch waist, it assumes that you have a 38.5-inch waist with a corset on, which isn't necessarily true because I don't corset down 1.5 inches. So we'll see how this goes. My waist is actually like a 39, so it should be fine. I usually go with 40 just because I like being comfortable. So I'm waiting for some of the things that I need to make this, like the horsehair braid and some linen tape from Burnley and Trowbridge. Stuff like that is coming in the mail so I can make this. But I can make the mock-up now, so that's what I've decided to do this week. Whatever, it's Friday, so it's kind of not even this week anymore, it's this weekend. And then also I want to do the American Duchess cape thing, so I was going to spend some time drafting that pattern, which I've also never done. So this is a week of doing things I've never done before. Super exciting. Let me explain to you the reason why I'm stuck on this guy. Stuck on you. Okay. Let me explain the pieces of this. This piece under here actually goes all the way down underneath here. This piece that's right here is actually this and all of this and something that's under here. And then these two are completely separate pieces that are put on. So when I was thinking about it, what I was thinking was I was going to do the black taffeta and then I would want some red net overlay with the silk organza that I have, the red silk organza, on like this. But I can't have it on this because this is all one piece. So if I put red silk organza here, it's actually all going to be down here too, which I think is fine. But then am I going to leave this just taffeta or am I going to put this be silk organza too? And then what about what's going on in here? Normally, I don't even know normally. Like I don't even know normally what I would want to do there. So I guess I'm just stuck because the pattern pieces are not what I thought they were going to be when I was making this, when I saw the picture of it to try and figure out where the silk organza would go. I just don't know. Maybe I'll just do it out of taffeta. Maybe I'll do the whole thing with silk organza. I just don't know yet. I haven't like figured that out. I haven't bothered to think about it too hard. I think if I do this and like all of this, I kind of have to do these because that would look really weird without that. Or maybe it would look awesome. Like I don't know. I almost like need to do it and see it and then hate it and rip it out and do it again. If I don't know. I'm just gonna think about it for a while because I have time. And I haven't figured out if I'm gonna do these sleeves as like just silk organza or if I'm gonna do them as taffeta or what. Haven't figured that out. And I still haven't established the butt bow and what I want to do with that. So I like this top. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet. I'm going to make it, that's for sure. But that doesn't have to happen right this second, and also I don't have to like stress myself out with thinking about that right now. So I'm just gonna let it stew in the back of my head and eventually I'll just come up with an answer or I'll be like sick of waiting on it and I'll just do it. So hey, it's Saturday. I'm going to go ahead and do this mock-up of this vest. Hopefully it works out well. She did get back to me. It was a printing or an exporting error, and so she sent a new one, which is fantastic. And if anyone else gets this vest pattern, the pattern should be just fine now. What else happened? I attended a Zoom call for a bunch of costubers and that was super fun. I got 2 postcards in the mail from Constance, one of which is this awesome Sherlock Holmes one. So I'm gonna put that up on my board, and she has these like awesome stamps all over the place. This is a Seamstresses Guild stamp. There you go. So I'm excited to put those up on my board. I think what I'm gonna do is actually take, because I have 2 more Bernadettes that aren't actually on here yet. I think I'm gonna take these 4 down and leave up Sherlock, and then take those 4 and the other 2 and line this with her drawings, as if you needed a full sweep of the side of my bookcase. This is how we roll here, costuming drama kids. So I'm gonna do a little bit of that. I got some interesting cards from the World Wildlife Federation, which normally I'm just like, I wish you guys wouldn't send me these. I will send you money no matter what, but don't waste your money on that. But I'm gonna use these to send cards out to people. So that's exciting. For once, these things come in use. So yay, send me more, World Wildlife Federation. I will send you more money. Okay, so onwards. My husband is about to vacuum the couches, and I do not want to discourage him from doing that because those couches need to be vacuumed. So I'm not gonna put this on video because you don't need to see me cutting out a mock-up. All right, here's my little space to Bernadette. Funnily enough, none of these, okay, there's actually 2 that are the same size, but other than that, none of them are the same size, which I would have thought would have made her absolutely insane, but nope. And then I have freed up some room on my board, which makes me feel a little bit better. And it's squirreled. Cool. I cleaned my front hall closet. I cleaned my entire kitchen, including like scrubbing with a toothbrush my stove top, which is very clean now. I went for a 3-mile walk. I made a scallion pancake. I think I did like 2 other things. So now I'm gonna cut out the best. I have done the thing. I'm also doing the other thing that everybody else is doing, which is watching Phantom of the Opera. So I'm gonna go read the directions because that is the first key successful thing that you can do if you're using a pattern, is to read the directions before you start. So I'm gonna go do that so that I know when things I don't understand are coming up and I can tackle them at that point or look up YouTube videos or whatever. So that's what I'm gonna go do now. I will probably sew this up tomorrow and we'll see how this goes and how long it takes and stuff like that. I hope it fits. I walked the pattern looked good. It seemed like it would fit me just fine, so it actually might fit me uncorseted, which I'm hoping for, although I don't think there's any boning in it, although I might just add boning and then it'll all just look like a corset. I'm in the throes of it. I have a light table out. I'm putting darts on patterns. It's happening. It's happening. It's taken all week, but it's happening. It has occurred to me that I am sitting here trying to like match my frickin' mock-up fabric. Dumb. I'm gonna use up all that weird thread that I inherited from my grandma, and like, what are all these bobbins that I don't even, like, these are not my fabrics. So I'm gonna use up all this bobbin thread and all the random threads that I inherited from people instead of like the neutral color thread that I might actually need to sew the outside of garments that is super useful to me. I'm gonna use, yeah. Duh, Noelle, duh. I feel like I'm in the Great Depression right now. Like, I'm like, ooh, I should conserve the good thread. I should. Like, why wouldn't I use that on mock-ups? So like, yeah, my mock-up's gonna have crazy colored thread, but like, who cares, right? Right? I heard a squeak, so now I'm oiling. So this is one of those things that nobody thought of when it comes to this lockdown, is like, I can't get my machine serviced. So I'm cleaning it, and I normally oil the bobbin case and stuff, but I realized I should clean it out a little bit because there's like gunk in here. So I've been taking a piece of linen and just chunks of it and like going in there and cleaning out all the gunk, which I think is important. So clean your machines, kids. Still the noise, not the needle. Oi. Okay, so actually my sewing machine repair place is open, so I am excited about that, and that means I can take it in to get fixed. probably early next week. They're only open a few days a week, but they are having 1 to 2 day turnarounds on getting machines back. So, all right, well, I'm gonna keep sewing. Hopefully I'm not doing horrible damage to my machine. We have a back that's all together. I practiced the weird bias binding thing here, except it's not a normal binding. It's like a binding would just sort of go over it. This actually uses it. It's like a hem facing essentially. And yay, getting rid of weird thread colors, because now there's weird thread colors everywhere. So this part went together really well. I am now looking at the front and about to move the front, like all indicators, onto the pattern. I don't have any clue what this is. This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen on a pattern, because it doesn't like go with anything or go anywhere. I don't understand it. So I guess it'll make itself apparent at some point. Like obviously dart. Obviously dart. Como? I don't know. We'll find out. I can't see anything in the instructions about what that is, so I guess we'll find out. Well, I've spent several hours today like just reading and rereading and rereading these directions, going, what? Oh, okay. And then reading the next thing and going, wait, what? Oh, okay. And I've gotten pretty far. I've got the back together and I've got the front together, and now I have to figure out how to attach them together, and it is very, very confusing. And usually that's like shoulder and sides. You're done. So the shoulder and neck part of this is a little bit hairy, so it's like almost 3 o'clock in the morning, so I'm just gonna leave it go until tomorrow, and I will finish this up tomorrow and deal with it at that point. I'm just like, I don't understand why this is so confusing, but it is. So we'll see. Maybe I will have a clearer mind in the morning. Hello. Good morning. It's not morning. It's totally the afternoon. All right, so let me explain to you where I am and why I'm stuck and all of that jazz. Everybody always says, I love it that you show us how hard this process is, because I always think that it's so easy for you guys, blah, blah, blah. And no, it's not easy for us either. I consider myself a fairly good sewer. Like, I'm not outstanding. I'm not Christine. She just, like, this would be done like years ago if this was her. But I consider myself fairly competent, and I have big problems every damn day. Okay, so let me show you what happened yesterday, and because I don't even know if I was making sense, like I was delirious. And what I'm gonna do now. I think I've got it. I slept on it, which is always the answer, kids. Just sleep on it. I'll show you. I think these markings are off. They might not be, but I did it my way and it works out fine. So I'll show you what happened. Okay, so this is the bottom facing with 2 dots. And you're supposed to match it to the dots on the front facing, which as you can see are offset, like they're pivoted, right? So if you actually set these right sides together, they would make this angle out at this really weird way that would end up being like that, kinda. There's this like weird offset. If you just do what you do on every other facing and line them up with the line, and then make sure that the 5/8 mark is right here, like where this B is, so that when you open it, it opens up to be perfectly straight. Then it works out just fine, which is what I did. I have to attach this to the front of the vest at this point. The next thing that I have problems with is the shoulder / collar seam. I think what I didn't understand yesterday was that, oh yeah, this is folded over. So this will actually be folded basically. And this is the back part. This goes over your shoulders right here. So this shoulder seam matches up with this shoulder seam here on the back. And even though this looks like a box, it's actually not. It's actually spread out more. It should pivot more. And then somehow in this tiny space, I need to put all of this fabric, I think. So I'm gonna go try to do that. and we will see what happens. For interested parties, I am listening to Bill Bryson's The Mother Tongue. It is absolutely fascinating if you're into the English language and learning all about it. Okay, so I'm gonna try and do this mirror thing. So as far as a fit test, like this is done for like a fit test purpose, so that's great. And I did figure out the shoulder seam stuff. The back actually looks really good. I feel solid about it. There we go. It's weird because I'm wearing this t-shirt underneath it. As a vest that I could just wear like history boundy style, it is very snug. Like I could not ever close this thing. I mean, I could suck it in and button it, but it will never cross over the right way at this rate. I could probably do some of the seams a little wider, but I don't think it's gonna get me there because I don't need 5/8. I mean, I could do the seams at a quarter, probably get a bunch more space out of it. To be fair, I am not corseted yet. And she made this pattern assuming a 1.5 inch reduction in corset. So I am going to put a corset on. First I'm gonna have tacos, which is great. Let's eat and then do that. I do like all of the darts. I think they, you know, are in the right spots and they feel good. I feel like it fits really well for that. So I'm just gonna put my corset on and see how we do with regard to can I close this or not. If I can, then excellent. If I can't, we'll see if I can take a little out of the side seams to let me be allowed to do that. And if not, I'll just cut the next pattern size up when I make it. But it seems to be okay. I think that the mock-up, like, this could have gone together in a day, I'm sure, if I hadn't been super lazy and fiddling around. And once you made it once, it's a lot easier. But figuring out the instructions are like, wait, what? So definitely it will be easier the next time around. However, I didn't do any of the tailoring things, and like there's like all this hand finishing in it, so I think this is going to take me quite a while. I'm gonna try on this with corseting in just a minute so we can look at that, and then I'll probably end this vlog here so that tomorrow I can take my machine in because it's squeaking, and the squeaking is getting worse, and I'm like, nope, that's not happening. This has got to go in. So I'm going to take it to my guy tomorrow. He's only open Tuesday through Friday from like 11 to 3 or something. So definitely need to get my machine over to him for that. Okay, so I had tacos. I went for a 2.5 mile walk and now I am back trying this on again. It totally fits, as you can see. It's pointy right here. Everything's good. I wish it was like 1 to 2 inches longer. I think this is period appropriate though, so cool. If I make one for like casual Noel wear, I'm gonna make it a couple inches longer. So I think it fits really well. I'm happy with the fit. I'm still happy with the dart placement. It obviously looks way better of our corset. I think there's a little wrinkling here and here, but I don't know how much of that is gonna get solved when there's horsehair braid in and also the collar is like actually pressed in, like it's not all connected and stuff right now, so I'm wondering. That'll get a little bit better. My shoulders are like sort of different shapes, so it could be being caused by that. I can also pat it out a little bit if that is the case right here. So I'm not too worried about that. All right, so we're just looking at the back here. I think that looks really good. I think there are very few wrinkles. When it's made out of a twill, I think it'll be even better. I'm pretty happy with the fit of this. So yeah, I think we're good to go. I think I'm gonna put this guy into production with, I'm not changing it, basically, is what I'm saying. This is like the second time in a row this has happened. I have to do too many modifications. I'm sure someone out there is like, you could tweak this thing just a little. No, not doing that. We're here to have fun. And I don't really have anything to go with this. I'm just making a waistcoat because I want to. Because I've always wanted to make a waistcoat, so now I'm doing it. Okay, so I am going to call this vlog here since I have to wait for the horsehair braid to get here. I did get 1/4 inch tape, linen tape from Burnley and Trowbridge today. I think the horsehair is the last thing I need to start constructing this thing. I still haven't picked out what fabric I'm going to use yet either, so I'll do that in the next day or two. But this machine here needs to go to the shop. It's squeaking louder and whatever, so tomorrow it's going to go to the shop. So I probably won't be able to vlog progress that is sewing in the next couple days anyway, so it's a good place to end this thing. Also, I think this vlog is getting long. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I'm super proud that I made another thing and I got through figuring out those instructions, so I am happy about that. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that, and I will see you guys next time with another video. Bye guys!